Hi guys, Nicholas here at Online Calisthenics, and today we're going to talk about food. Food is one of the most important things when it comes to fitness, and it can make or break your results. A lot of time, people um, unconsciously think that they can outwork a bad diet and a bad food habits by just simply working out harder, and that's just simply not true, and it doesn't work. So if it's been your case, or if you're trying to get more info on what good food is and how to implement good habits, this video is for you. Um, this is the first slide is actually a quite simple recipe for success when it comes to food. We'll get into details in a second, but if you can start with these 5 key points, you already made progress. So if you're trying to lose weight, starving yourself is not going to work. That's proven to not work, and your body will balance it out once it needs to eat more. I won't get into the details here, but you can't just starve yourself and expect to lose weight. That doesn't work. The second point is hydration. Water is one of your key here to lose weight. You need to drink a good amount of water, anywhere between 2 and 4 liters per day, depending on if you're male or female, your size and your age. But 2 to 4 liters is a good rule of thumb. Um, the third thing is knowing your labels. Uh, People are often overwhelmed with labels when it comes to grocery shopping. It's really hard to debunk what's good, what's not good, with all the coding and all the marketing that's behind it. It's very hard to decipher everything, and some people actually get lost in the midst of this. And I will help you to debunk a few of these myths and try to make better choices. The fourth thing is a no-brainer, but sugar doesn't help. It really is not a good ingredient that you want to eat, because it really has only downsides and very, very um, low benefits. The sugars from fruits are actually good, and we'll get to that in a minute, but in general, just avoid sugars, and of course, the more processed, the worse it is. And finally, loving veggies is going to be a key to a good diet and a healthy lifestyle in general, because they pack up so many nutrients that are essential for your well-being that it would be a mistake to miss on these. So make sure to eat vegetables um, as often and as many as you can. So let's dive a little bit into the details of the food process here. So basically, you need to understand what you're eating and how food works. That's really the important factor here. Understanding the food is essential, because a lot of people, again, and coaches are advocating, meal plans and all pre-made packaged food that could be looked as or seen as healthy and a good alternative, but it's just not sustainable. It doesn't last long. You don't build habits when you do these, and it's just not efficient in the long term. And that goes as well for supplements and all other marketing tricks that the industry is trying to sell you, um, as opposed to teach how food works, which is basically a lifelong skill that will benefit you forever. So let's dive into it, into a little bit of details. So what is clean eating? You hear that a lot. Everybody is talking about eating clean, eating healthy, but not a lot of people are actually talking about what it means. Um, it really means that you want to basically, like we talked about before, not process your food. You want the food as pure as possible. So that means um, cooking is a big part of making progress. You want to really avoid everything that's processed in general. You can make your own things at home and process it yourself if you like, but try to avoid anything that's packaged and already processed. Um, the second thing is filling up your plate with veggies. That's a no-brainer. We talked about it. Fill it up and fill it up. Make it at least a third or two-thirds of your plate every time you eat. That's going to be a good rule of thumb. Avoiding dairy, soy, and sugar, unless you can process it, is a good idea. And even if your body can process it, keeping those ingredients low is very important. When it comes to dairy, it's an inflammation inducing. It induces inflammation in your body when you eat it, and it's hard for your body to digest. The soy and the sugars, same thing. The soy is has a lot of downsides for people that are working out. It's very high in estrogen, and it's unlikely to be high quality. A lot of time, it's a lot of GMO farming on soy. So make sure that you know where your soy is sourced from, and that you have a clear view on where it comes from. The third thing is basically you want to nourish your body and your mind, and you really want to thrive and not survive. Surviving is not a good option for making progress and getting healthier. So trying to learn what is good for your body as opposed to just follow a plan, or get that protein because you saw it on an ad, or that's really important. The learning pattern is so essential to getting healthy. You will enjoy the benefits later on, because the food is really the core of everything. It will affect everything in your body, from your mood and your hormones, your energy, your nervous system, and really how you look and feel at the end. A poor diet will really translate into pale skin and just not a good look on your face and body in general. Let's keep at it, and skip to the next one. And understanding the importance of alkalizing. So you want to balance between um, too much and too little alkaline and acidic food. You want to benefit, or you want to prioritize alkaline products because its benefit it makes you less weak and prone to diseases. So alkaline foods are going to be a great help. I want to highlight here that I'm not talking about alkaline water. Don't fall for the trick of alkaline water. It's more of a marketing trick than anything else, but you do want to have an alkaline diet. That is very important. And by that we mean greens, fresh veggies, fruits, and a ton of water. So eventually you want it to be about 80-20 uh, ratio for alkaline versus acidic. Um, that's going to be a good rule of thumb. And we'll get into the details about what's alkaline and what's acidic, but in general, think of alkaline food as veggies and acidic food as meat and dairy. There are exceptions to the rules, and it's not set in stone, but that's actually pretty much how it works. So if you go for everything that's green and from the earth, is going to be alkaline. Animal products and dairy are most likely going to be acidic. That's again just to get a general understanding on how it works. There's other rules in there, but if you're just starting into getting a better diet, try to focus on these. Now let's talk about organic. Everybody talks about organic. It's been out for a while now, but it keeps growing, and it's a good thing if you get organic food. Um, it's a benefit to your health to source the best product you can. Again, there's no set in stone rules here. There are organic labels. They're not really organic. It's hard to make a clear decision on what is perfectly organic and not, because the labels change, and the rules change sometimes as well. But this is going to be a good start, really. So focus on getting products that actually have this label, even though that's not a guarantee for perfect product. That generally means that there's no pesticides, or there's a level of pesticides, sorry, that is way lesser than most other products. And the type of pesticides that they can use is different as well. So that's an important factor. There's no growth hormone, no antibiotics, and it's not GMO. That these are very important factors. You don't want antibiotics in your foods, and you don't want GMOs either, because we still to that day don't know about any side effect. No studies really have been out there to prove the benefits of GMO, or but it's really better to stay away from it as much as you can. Organic and organic farming, go for it. There's a lot of little local sourced farms. I would definitely go that route. It's a great way to get your meat and your fresh produce. I personally use this, and it's a great addition to a healthy diet. Um, that goes with the following point, that is farm fish. Stay away from it. Don't do farm fish. It's just going to have a lot less benefit than you think, and it will not be high quality at all. So stay away from it. Maybe eat it less if you love fish. Eat it less often if it's a problem in your budget, but just go for wild caught fish, and more often than not, try to focus on the smaller fishes. So avoid tuna and salmon, which are the two kings that everybody loves, including myself. But they're not so good because they're high in heavy metals. So go for sardines or mackerels, for example. These are good example. Or flatter and smaller fish can be good too. You can do your own research. There's a ton of them that you can find. But in general, just don't do farm fish. That's just not a good idea. And a couple ingredients that you really want to buy organics are coffee, celery, cucumbers, the berries in general, especially the strawberry and spinach. These are fundamental to buy organic. The reason is they're really absorbing of pesticides. So the grain of coffee, for example, will absorb the pesticide just like a sponge. There's just no way to rinse it off. There's just no way to get rid of it once it's in there. And the other examples I gave you are notorious to be to have those specificities as well. So you want the produce originally to be organic so that it has less um, harmful things in it and that you can get rid of even if you clean it up and rinse it and wash it later on. So go for organic for these. That's going to be great for your healthy diet. The food colors actually usually are synonym of their benefits. So if you go for red, it's most likely going to be good for your blood. If you go for orange, it's going to help promote collagen growth. Yellow helps for youthfulness. The white stuff helps for the immune system. Antioxidants are in the purple things, and the greens in general help detoxify. Um, there's many benefits to all of these. You can do your own research, but as a rule of thumb, just look at it like this. It's a great way to get started, and you will make progress along the way. That way, you can also replace bad food with good foods. Really, there's no reason why we couldn't do this, and it's actually a lot more simple than people think. So, really, instead of a canned tomato sauce, just make your own. Just buy fresh tomatoes. Pretty simple. Instead of microwave popcorn, that's really, 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 really bad for you. Go for a handful fresh roasted almonds. Add a little bit of cinnamon on it, or a couple other spices that you like. Put it in the broiler or in the oven. You can do 400 degrees, 10 minutes. Just roast it up. It's really delicious, and it will really replace popcorn. Soy sauce, not a great thing. Very high in sodium. Um, Replace it with low sodium. I won't go through the whole list, but you can see here that there's plenty of good things that you can do compared to the bad stuff that people um, usually get. One of the really bad things that I want to list up in there are the fruit juices. Really bad for you. Go away from fruit juices. Just eat the fruit. Fruit juices are actually really high in sugar, very actually zero fiber, and it's just a compact way to gain weight. So eat the fruits; they are delicious and they will benefit you a lot more. Um, Another thing, of course, that goes without saying are the sodas. So there's plenty of alternatives. I made an ebook with tons of alternative for everything bad, replaced with the good stuff. You guys are welcome to jump on those ebook bundles as well. They're on the website. Um, and the last thing, of course, is the ranch. So when you get a salad, if you get a ranch sauce with your salad, you're basically killing your salad. So don't do ranch dressing and go for any kind of light vinaigrette. There's lemon, balsamic vinaigrette. There's a ton of options here. Um, Again, be curious, make your own research, and play with it along the way. Let's talk about the booze. The alcohol is actually very detrimental to a good diet and a good health in general. It's really just not even speaking about the bite side effects, but only talking about calories. It's really going to fill you up and shoot the calories up to the roof if you consume too much of it. And that's really important to stay away from it as much as you can. Uh, just as an example here, I give you a calorie per shot, which is 200 calories. Literally, you do 5 shots, you have an entire meal worth of calories and zero nutrients. So I would really stay away from it as much as you can. And when you want to get a drink with friends and have fun, when you're going on a night out, I'd rather I would recommend to prioritize soda and lime waters and white and red wines, beers, and champagne. All those light alcohols are going to be the better option here. Even if none of these are great, they're a lot better than other alcohols and mixed that you can find on the market. So that's it for today, guys. I'll be back next week with new videos. Please let me know if you have questions in the comment, and I'll be happy to answer.